you have the top tier team versus the bottom tier team, so you really don't know who is going to take it at the end.
Alrighty, guys. As we are jumping into the Champ Select, Rampage taking on the Saigon Jokers. Looks like the first ban will be that the Nah. No surprises there. We've seen him wreak a little bit of havoc here and there. If you guys watched the last game, you know exactly why. Following up with the Sivir.
Especially in Ro's hands. He is a fairly carry top laner. If he gets that Gnar pick, it's generally comfortable in any pick on that top.
Definitely.
So you really want to take it off of him.
Following up will be the Gangplank ban. Haven't really seen Gangplank used to quite some success, but it's still a worthy champion to note and not really want to go up against if maybe you're not as confident.
We're already seeing quite a bit of top lane bans. So question is now, what is open? Irelia is open. So you might even see Rampage or Saigon Jokers looking to early rotate certain picks that are, let's definitely say Irelia.
That's a great point, Shen, following it up here. So kind of following suit with that top lane ban. There's the Karma ban, so they know that Warzone can play that as well as I'm sure Su. So getting rid of that one, there's the Echo. Going to be hovered over for Rampage Gaming. And when so many top laners, the Vlad following as the last man for Saigon, when so many top laners have been taken off the table, seems like a logical choice for Rampage to go with.
Yeah, exactly. Echo does get the early shove in just about every matchup. Of course, he has a poor matchup into Irelia, but of course, jungle matchup can tilt into any which way. So if they do end up locking this in, you could generally see focus towards Elise.
Oh, looks like they end up going with the Talia pick here, so favoring that mid lane shove pressure that she does bring to the table over a safe top laner here. Let's see if Saigon Jokers can answer with maybe taking away the Echo, but hovering the Jhin and the Rek'Sai. Have seen Jhin do quite well throughout the day so far, so wouldn't be surprised to see Saigon Jokers get that one, and there it is locked in.
So for Talia, she has not had a good day today. No, win percentage not really working out for her. But great matchups into most lanes. Just had kind of a freak day. So a first rotation on that is always solid. But yeah, Jhin is seeming to be the primary focus, has been doing quite well. Jhin, Ashe, great into the meta currently. But at the same time, Jhin has just been the pick to go here.
Looks like Saigon round out their jungle pick with the Rek'Sai. So going to see what RPG end up going with here. They still have that opportunity to pick up the Echo up in the top. And the Alistar actually getting locked in here. Another champion we haven't seen had too much success today. But regardless, Rampage seemed confident. Getting in a very early rotation here.
Yeah.
There's the Echo to follow.
So the Alistar pick, fairly good into Jhin. If they can get a shoving 80 carry, you should expect perhaps the Ashe. But with that being said, Tahm Kench is still left open. If they get Tahm Kench into this Alistar pick, kind of disastrous. But yeah, they did end up locking in the Echo top side. So right now I'm liking how Rampage is working this out.
Look, after the last game, I think anyone's going to be scared about going up against a Tahm Kench. So we'll see if Saigon Jokers go with that in the end. But still a few seconds left on the clock here to decide what they want to end up going with. Judging by the Rampage comp, not really giving too much away, but still taking away two high priority picks for Talia and the Echo. Saigon might have to play a reactive here, go for a control mage in the Victor to avoid really getting just shoved without any answer.
Well, the beauty of this is Saigon hasn't shown any of their solo lanes, right? And at the same time, Rampage have shown their solo lanes, and on top of that, the Alistar. So as I said, you get that Tahm Kench going for yourself, and you know what matchup you're going into in the mid lane. So you get the Victor for you, the constant wave clear. Sure, you're going to be getting shoved in by Talia initially, and so there is going to be that bit of a worry. But hey, if you have Tahm Kench working for you, I think they're going to be quite comfortable with themselves.
Well, Tahm Kench stole the show last game. Let's see if Su can match up with similar results here. But Warzone going for the safe pick in the Victor, especially against a lane bully like Talia. Going to have a reasonably safe time just farming out that wave. But you said we might be seeing Elise in here, Raz. And there it is. Rampage locking that one away for Tussle. He's going to be tussling in the jungle throughout this series and also getting Marin on that Ashe.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be fun. The Ashe pick expected. Ashe does generally shove into Jhin, has a great shoving power, has a great poke power. But with the Alistar pick, it's not going to be pretty. He's not going to have much of a presence within the lane. It depends on how Tussle does look to pressure it out, because of course you still have to respect the flash, pull, and push into your team. So if the gank power is still present, but the Tahm Kench, is always going to be relevant. Early lane should be a good safe pick, so I do like what I see from Saigon Jokers.
They banned away the Shen, a few other top laners to boot, so they may be forced into that Maokai pick, who historically doesn't do too well up against the Echo, but along with the Rek'Sai does provide a reasonable front line here. Going to have to be keeping the immobile carry safe.
Yeah, while it was talking up Saigon Jokers being able to pick up their lineup, or at least their responses, it hasn't been, to be honest, quite successful. They know that they're later on in the game they're going to be sweet, right? Later on in the game they're going to be fine. It's going to be perfect. They have the damage, they have the tanking capabilities. But Rampage gets their composition as well. They have quite a bit of shove in their lanes, early skirmish. So at any point you have to be worrying about this bot lane dive because sure you have a Tahm Kench, but if they get it going, you are going to get crushed.
Well, you got to keep in mind that with that Kench as well, any time that Ashe wants to pick someone off with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, she's not going to have the opportunity if Kench is just sitting around the corner because that goes from bad to worse very quickly. When cooldowns are expended, Kench just eats up whoever gets stunned by it, walks away, and they can reset the fight without really wasting too many massive cooldowns.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be a lot on how it plays out, how both teams end up playing it out, because, of course, you have clear late-game strength versus clear early-game strength. Now, of course, if the game works out as planned, it's favored for the strong Rampage team. They have a lot of strengths going for them, and at the same time, they do play towards Dara and Tussle, really doing it. They can really control the early game, control later on in the mid game as well, and really get it working for them. So we're starting it out there.
Alrighty, guys, we are jumping into game number 5 of the International Wildcard Qualifiers. Rampage taking on the Saigon Jokers. And if you just have a look at these team compositions, you'd think we were talking about Rampage as this hyper-aggressive skirmisher SWAT on the side of Saigon's, all about that reactive counter-initiate play. But here we are. We've got the Lee Sin, we got the Talia, we got the Echo and the Ashe and the Alistar. Pretty much everything spells all in here, Raz.
Yeah, see, you know what? This is going to be the proof. The proof is going to be how they play these comps, right? How they play. If Saigon Jokers take this composition and start just going in for those early skirmishes, we have already lost. It's going to be beautiful to watch.
No, great stuff here. Just some typical line of scrimmages coming out from both teams. Saigon getting some wards down the squad of Rampage, trying to deny any vision they feel that the Saigons aren't entitled to here.
We should not be expecting any invades. What we should just be expecting is standards, and it's going to be great. So already, one big point is that bottom lane should be a focal point for both teams. Ashe and Alistar, sure, Ashe gets a good amount of poke and shove just with her volley. That's going to be great for her. And it looks like they're going to be looking to stop, but Saigon Jokers are expecting this one.
Yeah, has been spotted out here. Tongue Lash comes down onto Marin. Dancing Grenade hits too, but Marin does return with a volley, so a little bit of an equal trade here. And I do like Dara. He did pick up the Thunderlords as well as the Ignite, so look for this Alistar to really make some of these plays early. And I feel like this Rampage squad, to what we watched, to what they're going to be, kind of what their strategies looks like it's going to be dictating today is day and night from anything that we've seen before.
Well, good thing about this is that, of course, both teams are only playing one game.
Oh, wow.
95%.
That's a...
all right.
That's a swing vote if I've ever seen one.
All right, what happened to Vietnam? Where are you guys?
Maybe it might be a little bit still too early in their time zone.
One big point is that both teams only really have one game to play tonight, and it's the last game as well. They must have had a lot of time to just do a bit of research. So it looks like both teams have done too much research to really counter each other out.
Not only that, you get a good amount of time to size up your opposition, especially watching out. Looks like Hyun going to get spotted out by the ward. Takes that one away with the Raptor buff, so no real troubles here. Early level 2 from the bot lane of Saigon Jokers, allowing them to get the shove onto Marin and Dara.
That's the beautiful thing about Talia, is that she gets that shove, especially against Victor. Not only is she going to get that shove, she's going to get the vision and just translate her time well.
Oh, Twisted Advance comes in with the flash. Paz, he might be in trouble because Hyun's made his way top. Does get the flash on Burrow, but Paz flashes in response. Can he get the double stun? Did level it up quite low. Doesn't get the shield portion either. The time winder slow enough to keep him safe.
Yeah, it was a bit risky for him to walk right back to perhaps get that stun. But at the end of the day, he's safe. He doesn't get killed. He's going to end up to TP back in that lane. Should be all right for him. But of course, he doesn't have his flash. So Hanyan could just end up going right back top.
Yeah, Yan going to go for the blue buff steal here. Not going to be contested. Marin does get stunned up by the deadly flourish, hit by the 4th shot. Looks like Sue did a good job of devouring him when any of that Alistar damage did come in. So we've seen this Tahm Kench be a very valuable asset to these immobile bot laners.
Yeah, so they should not be going in for the skirmish. That should not be happening. Rampage, they should be going in for the shove. If they ever go in for a skirmish, they will lose simply because Tahm Kench will, A, completely nullify the all-in attempt by just eating up Jhin, as we already saw, and the trade back will just be that much more impactful. So they have the shove, and on top of that, the heals that we're seeing from Dara could do just the same, so they should just be building up the minion wave and shoving it into tower.
As we saw just before, looks like Roki was, with the help of Tussle, able to steal away the blue buff, knowing that Hyun was still around that top side. Took the blue buff of the enemy Rampage team, but they answer with their own. Now both junglers going to be doing those scuttle crabs, but it looks like Tussle maybe making a detour down to the bot lane. He was sighted out by a nice ward, so the squad of Saigon Jokers know to keep safe. Tongue lash at range. Let Celebrity just reload.
Yeah, we're seeing different priorities. Rek'Sai is going to be playing towards topside because, of course, the flash down on Paz. He does have an opportunity to even help out the Maokai. It's going to be great for him. Meanwhile, Tussle is just going to be playing towards his bot side, and he has that opportunity. Flash is available on Alistar, so if there's ever just 1 second in which Sue or Celebrity are playing far too forward, then we can see that engage going for him.
Keep in mind that Paz didn't actually use that teleport to get back up to lane, and Ro did, so now Paz with the teleport advantage, but that gives a huge item discrepancy, and you can see the damage that Maokai is able to dish out when he's even the slightest bit ahead, has that double Doran's, a little bit extra health from the Ruby Crystal. Paz only a dagger and a corrupting potion to his name. Not going to be finding the favorable ends of those trades anytime soon.
Yeah, that tree is just going to be smacking him. He really does need components of Trinity Force. Once he gets Sheen, at the very least, he can start bullying this matchup. Maybe just components of Fate. Either way, right now it's not working out too well for him because of the double Doran start. So he might even just need Tussle to come and help him out.
Good dancing grenade. Does proc 2. Not going to do too much damage. Didn't have any minions to execute on the way. Tussle is on the top side of the map, but ganking for Pez may be out of the playbook at the moment, considering he's only got a dagger right now. Hyun making his way into the jungle, trying to find something, but as we can see with our God Vision, there are no camps left for him to steal. Might find that out sooner rather than later and turn his attention bot, but looking at Rampage, they're in a pretty decent spot. Teleport used by Paz to get up to the top lane.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, they still have good shove, and Talia, once she gets to 6, you still have more options available to you. But, as I said, it looks like we're seeing Rek'Sai with his eyes towards this bottom lane.
He really wants to go for a gank down here. Tussle also trying to make something happen in the mid. Exhaust goes down onto Marin. He flashes instantly, does get knocked up by the Unburrow, but now Dara seems to be the focal point. Can the Tongue Lash go for the stun? Doesn't hit so low. Can the burning from the Mastery get him? No, a health potion enough to keep Dara safe, and there's Tussle in case they needed the safeguard as well.
Yeah, Tahm Kench must have had his W on cooldown. Otherwise, that should have been the target. Is like Dara, 100%.
Trying to go for a cheeky Prey Seeker. Not going to find anything, though. Dara starting to heal back up. Does have the heal on the Triumphant Roar as well. So, should be safe for now. But Celebrity, he is but he is nearly 6. Had he had a bit of a higher mana pool, could be in danger from that ultimate. But Tussle level 6 now, so doing well in farming up. Look at the CS lead, almost 10, and when it comes to those jungle minions, you've got to think of the gold and XP as quite a considerable amount more than just your average lane minion.
Yeah, 100%. And since we are on 6.16, a big point right now is, Celebrity and Sue cannot let Marin and Dara back. They're in such a poor position that this is a great opportunity to get as much chip damage on that tower. Hanyan should be making a second appearance to just speed up the process and force Rampage into a difficult decision of priority. Either defending that bottom lane or looking to make a play topside, which is already not working out so well for Paz.
It wasn't. Forced to use the Chaos Storm there, just to maybe go for a recall, but the pushing power from Roku is just too strong right now that he has to stay in this lane or risk falling behind, and good pink ward spotted out Tussle, allowed for Ro to avoid a potential gank here. Pez maybe going for a recall now. He's got a little bit more gold, should be able to finish off some of these components of the Triforce.
Exactly. And it feels like the aggression we talked about with Saigon Jokers, or at least it feels like a lot more calculated aggression. And on top of that, Saigon Jokers have the composition that outscale. So the fact that they're only losing lane right now is a naturally losing lane, and Victor versus Talia is a great sign for them that they can get past this point, still have an amazing composition to work for them. Hanyan is outplaying Tussle currently. And generally, this is a bad matchup for Lee Sin. If Rek'Sai is ahead of you, once he does look towards getting that some damage right now, because he does end up going towards the... what's the item name? It's killing me.
What, for Rek'Sai?
Yeah.
Tiamat?
Tiamat.
There you
you go.
go.
See, it's the easiest item name. I forget it all the time. But yeah, once he does go towards the Tiamat, he's going to be out-skirmishing the Lee Sin. And on top of that, he's going to be a much tankier force to deal with.
Well, you mentioned that they're losing out in the mid lane, but I think that's... he's going in. He's going for the Void Rush. Not going to find anything so low. Can the burn hit tick? There's the flash. First blood for Tussle. Warzone quite low on mana, and Chaos Storm not available just yet. Can't answer, but that's going to be the worst Void Rush I think I've ever seen.
I mean, that's just... he did not expect that.
No.
As we talk about him getting that one, like a 1v1, it's going to be awful for Lee Sin. He finds himself immediately in a 2v1 situation to get out of. So really a bad start.
Look, he's taking face checking to a whole new level, Raz.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
But look, before that took place, I was just going to mention that Roku, Saigon Jokers, they are losing out in that mid lane, but they're making it up by the top and the bot lane CS discrepancy. Look how well that Maokai is doing just with that early pressure that Hyun was able to do. But in the mid lane, Roku forced to flash Warzone. Doesn't look like he has the mana. Used a ghost of his own to keep himself in range, though. Of
course, he's shoving him quite a bit, so Warzone did have to utilize his ulti. We're just going to check this one out again.
Heartbreaking.
To his, to be honest, there was a pink in that ward. They didn't, in that bush. They didn't get to see it.
Oh, Tussle might be in trouble. Rowe with no flash available. Can't chase him over the wall, so good heads-up play. Ward hops into the Baron pit. Get himself to safety.
Yeah, we're getting a back and forth between these two junglers right now, which is a great thing to see.
Yeah, look at Tussle. He's gone for that Tiamat before anything else, so he wants to go full-on aggression, full-on jungle clear. And we can see why. Getting himself that early first blood when you're on Lee Sin, you're kind of against the clock before when you fall off and are really just an ult bot, so he really wants to make his presence known throughout the map, it seems. Oh, Tussle, he may have been caught out here, and there it is. Saigon answer with a straight 1v1. He was quite low. Should have recalled after maybe getting chunked down to about 10% health, but really not respecting Saigon Joker's presence.
Yeah, bad timing, bad catch. It looks like right now Rek'Sai is going towards the Sight Zone build, so he's going to be that tanky utility type. He's not actually looking for any types of high skirmish play. He's trying to help his lanes out since they already have that natural lead going for them.
Yeah, this is where he got chunked out quite early and just kind of refused to recall, was walking around on that much HP, easy for a Rek'Sai to track down.
And that's just a great roam from Ro. He's in he's in an interesting position where he's so far ahead in his matchup, unnaturally far ahead.
Yeah.
Where he shoves in and he looks outwards. Right? He shoves in, he has it, or at least had a pink, and he's going for it.
Oh, Roki might be in trouble. Actually uses a wall to try and defend himself. Not going to happen as 4 members of Saigon Jokers converge and take out the poor little Stoneweaver.
Yeah, TP cancelled on Ro. Doesn't matter. They get the fight, and it looks like mid-tower going to be challenged.
It looks like the side of Rampage going to try and come and answer this. There's the Enchanter Crystal Arrow. Actually hits Warzone, but Sue picks up the wrong target. A nice ulti from Tussle, knocking them all up. Now Warzone in the firing line. Poor Jin taken down. He's not safe yet. Ro making his way down. One more auto attack should do it. That's a double kill for Tussle. The fight's not done yet. They're trying their best to take out this Lee Sin. He's still living by some means. Marin, full health, half a pool of mana, does get the kill onto Sue, and Rampage, what looked like a bad fight, answer back at themselves. 3 strong kills.
See, Saigon Jokers were in a great position. They were challenging that tower. They have a Tahm Kench on top of that, so if someone gets picked, then you just eat him up. He ate the wrong target.
Yeah.
Victor was the one who was just out of position. He was the one who got stunned, but I guess he was just left out to dry.
Yeah, the Dragon Rage hitting all 4 members there was a sight to behold. So Rampage off the back on, like we said, what looked like an unfavorable matchup. Slight blunder on the side of Saigon Jokers ends up costing them quite heavily.
Yeah, exactly. So that was really a great execution coming out of our Rampage, and we get to see it again. So we just look at it. All right, now it's Sue's backing away, but he eats the wrong person. Really unfortunate, because then Warzone is set up for that kick
as well.
Once again, that wombo combo coming through. And it was really excellently played, but really unfortunate for this lineup on Saigon Jokers, because if he had eaten up the target, they would have been in a much better position to take this fight, because that kick setup really started to really take it over.
Look, not only did he eat the wrong person, he hit the tank as well, so Rek'Sai couldn't even body block for anything. But 13 minutes in the game, Rampage find themselves a nice 1,000 gold lead here and there with some change. 4 kills to 2. No towers falling just yet, so that first tower bounty still up for contention. Ro might be in trouble. Paz trying to take the fight here, but this Mount guy is still quite strong. But Paz, he has the red buff here, so he's starting to get the burn down, looking for something. Has the ulti should it turn unfavorable, kind of trading blow for blow right now.
Yeah, this is best case scenario for Rampage. So even in this matchup that should be great. Oh, it looks like
oh no, Paz might be in trouble. Can he get the ulti off in time? Not gonna happen. Ro just straight up 1v1s him.
He doesn't even have ulti, so he really couldn't get it off.
There you go.
I mean, it looked like it because he was channel W, so he got that Phantom going for him. Maybe Roki can get the pick. Nope.
No, going to try and answer, but not a wise tower dive move against Ro. Is healing up as well.
So yeah, it should have been a great situation for Paz, but it looks like right now, since Talia went for that top lane pick, that top lane opportunity that didn't show itself, right now Saigon Jokers get a chip on this mid tower.
Yeah, they're really trying to go for this one early on to ensure they get that first tower bounty. Hyanum was going to back off just in time before Roki gets back to lane. We can see that Tussle making his way up as well. They really don't want to give over this bonus gold to anyone.
The worst thing about it is we talk about this first brick gold coming on both side lanes. Usually we get to see it from top lane. We get to see it from bottom lane. We get to see it... we never get to see it in the mid lane. If you lose mid lane tower, that's pretty much inexcusable. But at the same time, you lose so much map pressure. Essentially, both your side jungles you forfeit them in terms of just once your team starts to shove out mid, they can really start to invade any jungle they really just do choose.
Yeah, we can see that Su is in full babysitting mode right now. Dara not even having to use a single move, and he just eats up Celebrity and walks his way on out of there. So does not want any of that damage being traded back, and he's doing a good job. 30 CS in the lead is Celebrity right now, but Marin does have that kill and 2 assists to his name. Still yet a completed item where Celebrity does have that Ghost Blade, so a lot of raw damage coming out of the Jhin Snare. Not going to land. Marin safe for now.
Yeah, it's a mechanic show in the bottom lane. Of course, Jhin does not have ulti. He is in a poor position now because all he can really channel at this point is he does not have mana, is what I was saying. Yeah. So all he can really channel now is his ulti. So he is technically in a bad spot. Probably needs to look to back at this point.
And once again, the focal point really seems to be this mid lane tower down to about less than a quarter of health right now. And we can see Rek'Sai really just hanging around here, making sure that Warzone can constantly exert pressure, which really deducts from Roki's kick because he wants to be going for the roam, using that Weaver's Wall to kind of pin people up against it. And he can't do that if Rek'Sai's constantly helping the Victor push in.
Yeah, and so right now Saigon Jokers are playing it incredibly well. They did make that one blunder that really started to hurt them, but ever since that point, even before that point, they play towards their side lanes where they're now incredibly far ahead, and now he's playing towards his mid lane, really locking down Roki.
Looks like Dragon has been started. There's the teleport. Rek'Sai coming on in. Marin, he's caught out with nowhere to go. He might be in trouble. Does get the heal off in time. Su eats him up. Can he devour him? But Hyun gets taken so low. There's the kill over onto Ashe. Rek'Sai still living. Burns down now. Paz in the thick of it. Celebrity, though, doesn't have enough mana to channel anything like we said. Hadn't gone back just yet. Ro in the thick of the fight. Can he get the kill? There's a deadly flash. And there's the kill. Ro takes out Paz. And one in the mid lane. Warzone between the towers finds the kill onto Roki, but Tussle may have found one of his own. Does get the channel off in time. One more auto attack should do it, but there comes the Kench. Can he get his teammate off in sight? No, there is the Sonic Strike from Tussle, but the fight just never ends. Now Su and Ro in a 2v2 versus Tussle and Dara. Dara is going to get the kill over to Su, but Ro answers with one of his own. Now support versus top lane and Dara. He still has that mid lane tower to back him up.
Yeah, we're in a scrappy game, ladies and gentlemen. This is ridiculous, but Victor just chased down the Roki. But here's the biggest point was that was a great call from the very beginning from Han Yan to really get that. They called out that dragon buff. They knew they could take the fight. They got straight to the back line and Marin demolished him. And from that point forward, it was their win. They had that win, and especially they had the mid win. So once they chased a little bit too far out for Tussle, Tussle's got more kills to his name. So right now he's sitting pretty well for himself. 4 kills, 3 assists. So right now he is their sole, I would have to say, savior.
Yeah.
If Rampage right now, sure they have the gold lead, but if they cannot fall farther behind, especially in this composition.
And look, this game couldn't be any closer right now. 7 kills apiece. Gold lead in the hundreds at the moment. No towers either, but that mid lane tower, it is an auto attack and then some from a few minions even from crumbling. So Rampage, if they don't want this to swing in favor of the Saigon Jokers, they need to prioritize defending that, it seems.
Yeah, exactly. So it looks
judging
like
by the
Rampage.
positions. Paz does get spotted out, knocked up. Tussle will be the first one to answer. Warzone's there as well. Roki can't seem to find his way in, but look at that. Celebrity and Sue already making their way up. Adara on a pink ward, spotted out by the Tremor Sensors as well.
Already looking to take the fight.
And Chilling Smite goes down. Deadly Flourish not going to land. Does get knocked up, but it's an Alistar with ultimate. He turns the fight around. Has gone in on both the tanks. Now Celebrity gets hit by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but they're funneling into a field here, and Roki just getting destroyed by the Chaos Storm forces Rampage to back on out.
Really well played from Dara. Is Roki going to...
He's got the potion. He's fine.
Yeah, he's got it. But you know what's not fine? This mid tower.
Hey!
So really unfortunate for RPG. That was probably their best situation where they were like, Alistair Dara played out of his mind to really disengage off of that. So they don't really lose much off except for that mid tower. But perhaps now that they're pushing this mid-wave in, they could look for a response.
Dara and Tussle might be in trouble. Rift Herald goes back to the Void. Paz is there as well. Twisted Advance comes on in through. He's just getting bursted down. The Deadly Flourish does land. Snared up for a couple of seconds. Ro pops the ulti for that damage reduction. Hits the slow on the Q. Goes for Merrin. He's found the carry. He's in the back of it. But Dara gets a 3-man knockup. Victor gets eaten alive to save himself. Celebrity gets the kill onto Paz. Another one falls. Tussle trying to find something. Can't. It is a 3v4, but Saigon Jokers are on the run. Gravity Field comes down to kind of stop the aggression. Roki getting the slow with the volley. Can he hit it back onto the mines? He gets 2 of them. Tussle, he follows through, gets one. Now Celebrity is so damn low. Weaver's Wall coming on through. Can't get it as he does get knocked off by taking damage.
So really, if Celebrity had ulti, he used it much earlier, that would have been a good fight for Saigon Jokers. Unfortunately, they didn't have their cooldowns. RPG were really able to weather the storm that was coming down with Ro just constantly looking for those engages. They didn't really have the proper follow-up coming in there. And Warzone at this point in time, not doing the most amount of damage. So yeah, right now RPG, Rampage, they have a lot of fight power, and it's working out for them.
Unfortunately, Tussle does pick up that blue buff, so Roki going to have to get their own side of the map. One shouldn't be too much of an issue here, but Dragon's still up. It is the Mountain Drake, so high priority on it for some of these teams. 9 kills to 9, 35 gold apiece, 1 tower apiece, Raz. It feels like we're back where we started. This game could not be closer.
And I'm going to be honest, extra CDR on that Lee Sin, yeah, I'd give it to him, especially with how he's been playing.
That's a great point.
He's been playing out of his mind, so okay, I'll give him that.
Going for the Dragon now. They're just going to be clearing out the wards. Doesn't look like anyone's going to be answering. There's the teleport from Ro. Tussle. He might be in a little bit of trouble. Should have that safeguard to get himself to safety, but doesn't actually just get snared up. There he is. Gets himself out, but now Dragon should be going over to the Saigon Jokers. Can Rampage fight for this one? There is no smite, but Pian has made his way on in. Victor picks that one up, and Merrin, very low by that Jhin ulti.
Yeah, he wasn't going to die with the last tick, but with that being said, it was a great disengage ulti. He was trying to shove him off so he can get the free Dragon going for them, and now they're looking to group up on this bottom lane.
It seems like every time that Rampage try to go for something, Celebrity answer fast, and Paz, he has a teleport available, but he's chosen to stay up in that top lane and maybe trade tower for tower.
Yeah,
4 members bot.
They only really want to commit to this one. So once he can get this trade on this tower, they must look to commit on this tower here.
That's a great point. They still have 4 members hanging around bot. You can see Warzone has to defend that mid tower. Ping's coming down to try and assist here. They are able to get it to safety.
Down in Dragon.
Yeah, they really want to fight for this one. There's the Weaver's Wall. How many members can it break off? They do get the stun onto Jhin. He does get eaten up. Rose in the thick of it. Here comes the Rek'Sai going for the knockup. Roki, he's quite low on mana as well. Tussle in the back. He found Celebrity. He takes him out, but Ro onto Roki, looking to take out this Merrin, doing a great job. The tanks just butting heads right now. It's all about, can they take out Ro? Can he get the CC in time? Sue, he eats him up, but there is the Echo back in the thick of it. Warzone, he's trying to look for some. Everyone is so damn low. Ro, how he is still alive, finally gets taken down, but now Saigon Jokers, they have to run away, but the health bars on the side of Rampage are low in their own right and can't afford to chase against the Victor.
This is a highlight reel. Like, we talk about the 2 Koreans in Tussle and Dara, but they actually won that team fight for them. Like, Dara with multiple men headbutt pulverizes. And Tussle really getting that assassination for his team. Like, I mean, look at his damage right now. He's doing quite a lot for his team. It's was quite a good carry outplay, really. So right now, Rampage are really pressuring.
Look, the term thread to needle comes to mind, but in that stage, he was the needle. He gets through the entire fight, finds the backline, kicks Celebrity into his death, as we're going to see right now.
But yeah, they contested. They had the TP coming in, and even though he met Victor, he just chased right through. Echo, that is, just E through the wall, so he was able to meet his team. So yeah, looking through this fight, the fact that Tussle found that 1 inch, that space that he can get to the backline and get a kill on Jin was fantastic for his team. That's a lot of damage down. They don't have much damage other than Victor. So they were able to really just do as much damage to Sue and Ro that was just free damage. Nothing really being pushed right back onto them. So, especially since Hanyan is building primarily tanky, he does have the Tiamat now, but it's fairly late, especially with this one team fight. So, right now they are definitely relying on Jin and Victor for their damage.
That's exactly right. And rewatching that fight, Ro, he did a great job of staying alive, but even more props to Dara, just not allowing any of the damage dealers from Saigon Jokers to break in on and make use of the CC that Ro was putting down. But Rampage, they find themselves a lead. 1,000 gold once again. 2 kills up, 11-9. Tower's still the same. Saigon do have that Mountain Dragon available.
And I was talking about scaling, but if you're playing this damn well, especially on Lee Sin, there's no such thing as scaling. You scale well with skill. So if you can keep finding that backline in Celebrity, he is going to do just as much damage. It's on Saigon Jokers right now to protect their backline well. Warzone has to get to the fight early. He was fairly late to it. Echo got there first. He needs to get to the fight, and his team needs to protect both of them.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Once Saigon Jokers can get up that wall and prevent Tussle from getting in on the backline, might be a little bit difficult for Rampage to do anything else, because we saw just how long Ro can stay alive for, especially with the likes of Roki and Marin only focusing on him. So Saigon, they still have the potential, it seems, to go push these fights to the brink, essentially.
Yeah, definitely. So anything really goes. Any next fight really can go in Saigon Joker's way. It just comes down to execution at the end.
And so there will be not setting up for the Baron, but de-warding it at the moment. Vision, very valuable resource. I mean, they're going to Baron, but you have to expect Saigon Jokers to really respect the top lane tower. It's the only outer tower available to them right now. They must look to take or dive it at some point. Otherwise, there's going to be too much protection for Rampage in defending this Baron. Celebrity just popping the Ghost Blade, I guess, to get to the farm quicker. Wants to push up that top lane outer. Like you said, it's the last one on the map for Rampage here, so got to put priority onto that one, Tussle. Going to take this as an opportunity to clear out the pink ward in the Dragon Pit. Lucky for him that Tiamat is not proccing the Baron, so he's a very happy man.
Yeah, it's a good experiment to see. Is that going to proc it? No, we're good. But you have to expect that Rampage are also going to look to defend that top lane tower with their life. Even though probably it's something that they can just give away. But it does, especially 26 minutes into the game, it does have implications on Baron. As long as Saigon Jokers have vision control of that Baron area, that means that your top lane outer tower has much control as well.
If I recall correctly, that bot lane inner, for Rampage was quite low, so Ro constantly threatening that one forces Marin to answer the call, has to go down there and kill off the minion waves. That should give Saigon Jokers a chance to maybe get a little bit of vision control inside the enemy jungle, clear out some vision of Rampages in their own. But Rampage just feels like they're answering Saigon Jokers' calls right now.
Yeah, I mean, look at the screen right now. Tussle and Dara, both of them, they did well in looking to clear out anything and everything in that Baron side in River. So they did well in just mitigating any of the vision control that Saigon Jokers already had. So, I mean, they've been playing the game phenomenally on two fronts. On the first front, mechanically, of course, and on the second front, just really on a macro basis of just being able to clear out and help the rest of the team do well, succeed.
Infernal Drake has spawned, and remember, both teams are still quite close in terms of gold, so it's going to come down to, like you said, the drop-off point is how good are they at the champion, and for Tussle, it seems he knows no limit on this Lee Sin at the moment, so Maybe they're both going to fight for this, Raz.
I mean, I just love the fact that the dragons coming out right now are all influential dragons. The last one was the Earth Dragon. They looked to fight for it. Rampage had to concede, and now we're looking to fight for A, the tower, but B, at the same time, the Infernal Dragon that just appeared.
And keep in mind, this is going to be a tower trade because Ro having some free time up in the top. We can see Paz making his way there. Probably won't get there in time, but Rampage are able to get the bot lane tier 1, so tower traded here, but now they have the positional advantage on the Dragon.
Oh, they won't look to get it unless if they have a good shove in mid and bot. They're going to probably look to the back, refresh on some pinks right now. Their inventory seems pretty empty in that regard, and just look to go back onto the map and see if they can get anything off. Right now, yeah, they do have 2 pinks going for themselves.
Let's have a look at some of the items here, Roki. He has got himself 3 of the core items on the Talia right now. Abyssal Scepter, Rylas Crystal Scepter, and just Morella Nomicon, not a Scepter either, but on the side of Warzone, he's got that Sheen, so maybe going for a Lichbane here, looking for a lot of burst potential off that power transfer.
Yeah, especially since you have that many tank front liners.
Ooh. Oh my lord, Tussle just steals that one right under the nose of Saigon Jokers. It feels like a recurring theme Tussle comes on in and ruins your day.
Yeah, Saigon Joker's a little mad, chasing them down away from the river altogether. He's like, yeah, get out of here. What are you doing here? You nasty. But yeah, Tussle just...
You nasty blind man.
I can't believe... Yeah, I mean, he's been playing out of his mind. So that was a great steal from him, of course.
Huge steal.
Yeah, first of all, that was outplays in general. That was an interesting back. They need to stagger their backs a little bit, especially since Roki and Marin weren't really getting anything off their backs. So just to really at least push them off the dragon altogether. And they're looking for a pick.
Curtain Call has been used. None of the skill shots landing for the side of Rampage, so looks like Saigon Joker should be safe for now, but both AD carries expending their ultimates here.
Yeah, we really have, like, the game right now, the tension is fairly high.
Yeah.
But Saigon Jokers are not going to give up this tower. They feel like they have the strength here, looking to possibly get a siege, but they simply cannot.
They have all 5 members mid-tussle. He might be in trouble. Has been caught out by Ro, but knocked back into the fight. Dragon kicks him under tower. Paz trying to look for something. Can't find it. Dara does get the 4-man knock-up. Ro and Marin doing work. Paz, he can't seem to find his way in. Ro, he's so low, but the wall bounces him on the other side. Now, Hyun, he might have to flash over. He's trying to get eaten, but they can't seem to find it. Can they find the Rek'Sai? Paz cleans that one up.
Oh, they're going to continue this one.
Yeah, it's not done yet. Gets the movement speed off the Echo Proc. Gets bunched back into the team across the minefield. He is quite tanky. Not going to matter though. Marin cleans him up.
It looks like every single team fight that comes forward, Rampage are just able to take it. Every single point, they're able to divide them, especially with Roki's Weaver's Wall. It's able to just section them off, and that was incredibly well played, especially from Dara, able to get another multiple-man headbutt pulverize.
Yeah, they don't have what seems to be the burst anymore, but they are able to whittle their opponents down by just using the superior mobility that Talia has, being able to move around and do damage with that threaded volley. And Paz and Tussle, you just can't lock them down. Paz jumps over the wall, ults back out, Tussle goes in, also Maokai under tower, completely separates the fight. So Rampage has just been a great job of controlling it, it seems.
Well, with that being said, Saigon Joker they're not going to be able to siege up that tower. That's just something they cannot do. So them grouping up at that point, not for the best. Maybe if they were going for that objective, for that Baron, sure. But just look at this. Echo was actually fairly well in zoning off Warzone and Celebrity, both of their main carries. Ro has taken approximately $1 billion damage.
$1 billion trillion damage at that stage.
So he was just zoned out, and he's the Maokai. And look at Hanyan also taking that much damage. When your tank line is taking that much damage without much response, your front line is still ready to go, and Tussle is both backline and frontline damage with how much he's doing. So you have to be playing it a lot better. And at that point, it's not even so much of how you play it. You just shouldn't be looking to siege anyway. So now they're going for that Baron area.
Yeah, Tussle's always ready to go, but may have been caught out right now, forced to retreat out of this one. Dara, he's in the middle of the fight, does have the ultimate going to show. He's in the back row. He's just going to get taken down, but look how low the members of Rampage are, and Saigon Jokers, they don't want to give this one up all that easy. Down comes a Curtain Call, but looks like they are tanky enough to avoid the execute damage to a 1-for-0, but blinking red health bars on the side of Rampage.
Now I want to see the start of that fight, because Ro was far too forward, and the rest of his team was just not following up, and when the Celebrity ulti came in a little too late, I mean, you can use that to clean up a fight if you were a little bit more forward in the fight. It just came down to the fact that The setup is important. It looked like a great ulti and fall in by Ro, but it just comes down to how you communicate with your team, how the execution went down, because they're just not in sync right now.
Look, Ro, he's just thinking back to all those times he got the 1v1 against Pez up in that top lane and thinks, hey, I can do this. I'm a pretty strong Maokai, but unfortunately when Marin is just allowed to free hit you without anyone to kind of interrupt that,
it must be incredibly difficult for Celebrity in Warzone, especially since you're going up against Paz and Echo. He has your Trinity Trinity Echo. You have a full damage Lee Sin, Atalia, that if you ever walk up to her line of scrimmage, like if she just flicks you right into her minefield, you're dead 100%. There is so much pick, and Dara is an incredible force. So honestly, if you're Warzone and Celebrity, it's just a bad time.
Su might be in trouble. Does get Seismic Shard back in across the minefield. Uses that grey health early. There's a teleport coming in from Pez Ro. He's found Dara, but doesn't really want to take the fight. Paz is quite low already. Tussle making his way in. There's a massive knockout from Dara. Knocks multiple members across the minefield, but Ro, he's still alive. Roki, he's gone down. Ro gets the kill onto that one, but Rek'Sai falls in the process. Victor, he's still doing work. Ro, so damn tanky. Look at the heals off that. There is the shutdown. Victor gets that one. Now Dara without his team falls like a support should. And Saigon Jokers, where have you been all game long?
That just comes down to execution. Once again, Ro, Su, and Hanyan, their main tank line, just lived with a sliver of health. Well, not Hanyan, but at the end of the day, they were able to tank up just enough for Warzone and Celebrity to come through. And now, of course, we have to mention at this point that Victor does have that Lich Bane going for him. So he has the Lich Bane, he has the Rylai's Crystal Scepter, so technically he can peel for himself and do as much damage as possible. So,
oh no.
So here we go.
Oh, the Q goes wide onto Celebrity, so really not able to find their way in, but you got to question Paz's teleport right in there into 4 members, and full tank Echo with a Trinity Force, yes, but you mentioned Warzone. He is quite strong right now and can dish out the damage.
Well, he's understanding his role on his team. He's trying his hardest to just zone out Warzone and Celebrity at all costs.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Ro will die just by the sheer force of his full team, just smacking him across the head. So he played it perhaps as well as he could. The problem is, of course, his TP location, he's going to take a lot of damage initially. That's it. And that's just what it came down to.
Baron has been started by Rampage. Seems like maybe a desperation play here, forcing that one. They have the Kench to get Ro back into the fight. Paz, once again, he's in the backline, but his job is just to delay them enough for the Baron to be taken. But he can't. And Su go for that one. They get knocked up by the Alistar. Baron has been taken by Rampage. In comes Ro into the thick of the fight. Echo, he's been forced all the way to the backline, so it is a 4v5 in favor of Saigon Jokers. But Ro, he can't seem to find anything. The Chaos Storm doing work where it can, looking for a stun, not going to find it. Dara and Paz completely split away. Dara just going to be the sacrificial cow from this one, but Baron has been picked up on the side of Rampage.
Yeah, there we go. So they get the Baron, but
the big guys can't fit through that small gap.
Yeah, they're having a little bit of a problem. But as you can tell, Saigon Jokers right now, their strength is they're getting a lot more stronger. Their backline is simply able to deal with Tussle. Their backline is simply able to deal with Roki and Paz. So they've gotten to a point where they can handle the strength, or at least the assassination attempts at them. So Paz right now is not going to be enough to really deal with them and zone them out. He's having a few issues himself.
Elder Dragon is up and available, and remember, Rampage, they got that Baron onto 4 members at the moment, only losing it on Dara, so not even the most important one either. So maybe they can allow them to prep some of these lanes and really pressure the Elder Dragon here.
Yeah, perhaps. Right now, Saigon Jokers. Here's the beauty of Saigon Jokers. Sure, they lost the Baron. The only real way that they can really start feeling that pain is if Rampage do look to just split them out, not pick that fight, not look to just go for a straight 1-4 and try to take that one top tower. Otherwise, if Rampage look to group on it and just look to brute force, Saigon Jokers will win the fight. They've gotten strong enough, especially since Warzone is looking for a Void Staff, that they're doing far too much damage. Ro has far too much ability to just tank your front line, that their outright team fight is going to be stronger than you.
Well, speaking of Void Stuff, Roki already has his one completed, so a lot of the damage coming out of this Talia is starting to really ramp up. But let's take stock of the game right now before these guys go at each other's throats once again. 37 minutes in the game, 15 kills to 13 in favor of Rampage. The gold lead back in their court once again, but it is quite minuscule. 63k plus 60 gold for each team at the moment. So about 2.5k right now, and is quite important, especially when the Elder Dragon is in contention.
Yeah, so it looks like right now they're going for that Elder Dragon, but you better believe Saigon Joker is going to contest for this.
Look, they're bursting us down to 3k health already. Do they want to fight or do they want to finish? It seems to be a little bit of an indecision. Marin actually gets it now. Sue in the thick of it. He just gets deleted. 1 minute he was there, 1 minute he was not. The wall trying to block, but may have done more bad than good. They can't seem to find their way to funnel through the fight, but look how big it is. It's blocking so much off. They can't get back into that mid lane tower.
Oh,
there is Tussle. He's found his mark. Can he do anything about it? The front line is there for Saigon Jokers.
Oh, he's a smart man. He decided, you know what, he's far too in the back. He's far too backlying over there, so he didn't want to connect the kick. Most solo queue Lee Sins would go for it. But yeah, they got that was a great look for them. They got the Elder Dragon. They have the Baron. They can now force because they do have the stronger team fight now.
I remember. Only the support is down. Looks like Ro wants to take this one in onto Tussle, but look at the damage. That's what a Void Staff can achieve. Ro just gets kicked to demise, but in the thick of it, Dara does fall, but that's only to the support. Remember, they still have Baron. They still have Dragon Tussle. He's got a Guardian Angel at this point. He's going that full solo Q Lee Sin build.
Oh, because now this just comes down to outplay. They're trying to get this tower, chip damage as much as possible. They've had enough, though. They're going to back away.
Yeah, there's big wave forming for Saigon in the top and the bot as well. So Rampage respecting the damage that Saigon Jokers can still dish out, choosing to go for a little bit of that map control at the moment. But so much damage. We saw how fast Sue, he couldn't even get off his shield in time to keep himself safe. He just got deleted, and he's got so much health and armor right now, so it's such a surprise.
That's true, but now that Elder Dragon, they've had that breath of fresh air. Elder Dragon should be wearing off at some point. Once they regain composure, Saigon Joker should have that strength that you did finish. Victor did finish up that Void Staff. They can take these fights going forward, and once of course Jin does get a little bit more armor pent to his name, if he hasn't had enough already, then right now he's going to be going for Infinity Edge, and then Infinity, like once he finishes up that Infinity Edge, going from he's. At that point, it doesn't really matter how much gold you have at that point. Their team fight is going to be that much stronger.
Looks like both of the neutral buffs, the Baron and the Elder, have fallen off for Rampage, so now just relying on gold lead and skill at the moment. Smites that one away. Tussle, he has been an absolute nuisance this whole game along Saigon. He's like a fly that they just can't swat.
Oh, they're trying very hard. He even has a Guardian Angel to his name, too, so he has a few, perhaps like cat-like features.
Yeah.
Kill him once.
Has got one as well.
Yeah, there we go.
They're just going for that revive build here. So Saigon do finally manage to take down Tussle and Paz. As if Echo wasn't hard enough to KO already, they're going to have to deal with him twice, maybe 3 times with that chrono break as well. So Ro relegated to doing... Yeah.
Oh, I was about to say, this is a good position for Rampage right now. They have Echo shoving out the mid lane. They have control now. They don't have to fully commit. They're going to end up taking this tower anyways. But now with that being said, they can constantly look to rotate between towers and chip them down, especially since Paz right now is in a position where he can just does have a lot of power, shoving power into most matchups here.
They're delegating Ro the task of pushing out that bot lane. Not going to find anything. There's the Weaver's Wall trying to cut off the team. Dara somehow finds a way in through that gap. They take out the mid lane inhibitor tower and call it a day. In the back though, Ro, he's found the back line. Paz trying to do the same. There's a Deadly Flourish. Not going to find much, but Paz, he's so damn hard to kill. Ro, a little bit easier. There is a 3-man knockup coming out of Rek'Sai. Just going to fall. No chance. Sue forced to pick up the Maokai and run. Dara just running point right at Tussle. He's in the back line. Just completely takes him out. Sidesteps Warzone. He goes down. A double kill for Tussle, and Rampage on a rampage, looking maybe to end this game, Raz.
Yeah, Rampage, as you said, is a great kind of name for them. They just took a game, a scrappy one at that, against Saigon Jokers. That is what I have to say, outskilling a team at their own game.
Look, that was impressive stuff. I feel like we may have got our facts back to front on this one, but what an impressive showing out of Rampage. They looked on fire all game long.
Yeah, I mean, the people of Japan, they just want their team. They want some pride going into playoffs, right?
Yeah.
They want to be going out. They want to get themselves out of groups, especially eyes towards Worlds, and this is the first step to it.
Look, I feel like we mentioned this is their first showing on a global stage that they really need to perform and kind of show that confidence and that level of skill that got them to this point. And Raz, I think they did exactly that today.
I mean, there's nothing says confidence like picking that Lee Sin.
Yeah.
Nothing says confidence like picking that Alistar, even though he knows that lane matchup is not going to be very good for him. He took the bullet in that lane. It was not a good laning phase for him. It was fairly bad. With that being said, once they got out of laning phase, it's not about that. They just look for those fights, they look for those skirmishes, and it works out well for them.
Well, I think you said it best. They were just a scrappy game where they were constantly skirmishing over small objectives, which rose in importance as the game went on. Then all of a sudden, a Baron and an Elder Dragon really to seal the deal.
Yeah, and Saigon Jokers are going to look back at that game. They're going to be looking at certain points, certain fights that, quite honestly, they just got outplayed in.
And we're going to see some of them right now.
Yeah, this is a good one. So Hanyan finds himself in a bit of a sticky situation. That was the first real opening for Rampage. They were having bad lane matchups going for them. Other than that mid lane, that was working well for them. I guess that's a perfect place to get a kill.
You can see Marin trying his best to stay alive here, but that's when they got kind of split up around that dragon, and Su can just finish him off. And without their real damage dealers, they're just a bunch of tanks where Tussle, if he can't find the backline right away, he really struggles to get through that front line.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was just a great situation for Saigon Jokers. These are just one of the fights that they do want to look to pick. They didn't get as much, I mean, as I was saying that, they didn't get as much as they had wanted. Sure, Victor had gotten that kill,
yeah,
but then they really committed to save Warzone here. And so Tussle was just able to get kill and kill and kill. And even though Rampage were just in dire straits, quite honestly, he was just that sole carry of his team.
Look, I felt like it's been too long since we've seen Lee Sin on the global stage, and he came in swinging, well, kicking, rather, doing a great job of that, just constantly being a nuisance, a pest that Saigon just couldn't deal with. And this was when they took the Baron, and watch Dara here for this massive play on the junglers.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just like everybody knew their role. Echo knew his role, just dealing with Celebrity this entire time. He's already half HP, hasn't even joined the fight. And so we get to this point where Rampage has all the time to deal with Ro. Ro right now just wants to be able to tank out and help it, while his team deals as much damage as possible, but that's just not happening. And so they're doing well in this team fight, sure. Saigon Jokers show that they have a lot of team fight strength, but Rampage, they get the Baron and they're able to play it through.
So I feel like you summed it up perfectly when you said everyone in the squad knows their role and played it to perfection. Tussle, he's a nuisance in the back. Marin and Roki side by side, allowing any tank that came their way to be able to deal with it. And Paz constantly as well putting kill threat onto Warzone and Celebrity that neither of them could ever get their damage off on the appropriate targets.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like, I don't want to say, like, for a lot of teams, tilt is a factor, but this one, these players had bad lanes.
Yeah.
Bot lane had a bad lane, top lane especially had a bad lane. He had a bad matchup, and at the same, well, he had a good matchup, but Hanyan tilted that in his favor. Hanyan played an amazing game, so it's not a mismatch in any way, shape, or form. It just came down to Rampage. They grouped up as a team, and they really took it to them. They played together as a unit.
Look, I feel like we're giving a lot of praise to this Rampage squad, but remember just how long that game was neck and neck for, constantly battling for hundreds of golds and kills apiece. I think they were about 7-7, about 15 minutes in the game. No towers down, gold dead even. These guys seemed really similarly matched in terms of skill. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, it just comes down. I was just really coming down to the fact that this is going to sound cheesy, right? So this is just a warning on that factor that it doesn't matter if you're looking to get outscaled, right? As long as you fight hard, play hard, you can bring back the game. And so there were points where Rampage, they had the lead, sure, but they were losing lanes, but they had they should have been outscaled, but they just played well through and took the game out.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? When you think of Lee Sin, you don't really think of that late game hyper carry who's able to get into the backline and really just run amok, but he was doing just that. Now, how does a team like Saigon, who are known for these scrappy fights, allow that to happen, Raz?
Oh, I mean, that just comes down to them. They're just going to look at the game and regret it, right?
Yeah.
Of course, there are certain points where 100% a lot of macro points should have been pointed out, but they're going to recognize certain fights that they should have won just based off of Warzone's positioning, the Maokai's positioning in general, right? Because Maokai's tanking quite a bit, but he needs to be tanking for something. He can't be taking free damage with really the rest of his team not being able to be in position.
Well, that's the thing, right? You got to give a lot of praise to Paz and Lee Sin just constantly getting in that backline and completely wreaking havoc. I don't think I saw Celebrity or the Victor in the fight once to be able to contribute any means of damage that was on to any targets of significance.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just comes down to Paz. Like, Paz showed why he is the best top laner in his region. Like, he showed that he had so much respect, or at least, I guess, faith in his team, being able to put through damage, while the two main carries of Saigon Jokers were I guess he was taking damage from them. If he was going to be able to zone them out, he knew his team would win it out.
And look, we've seen a lot of great games today and many more throughout the rest of the week. But did any games really stand out to you today, Raz?
I think all of them stood out. I don't know, that sounds like a cop-out answer, but every single one of them did.
Look, and of course we got our boy Hingers standing by to get us an interview with the winners.
Who is the jungler for Rampage. Congratulations on the victory. And let me ask you first, did that game go how you expected it to go?
그러니까 저희가 생각보다 라인전이 상대랑 똑같이 갈 줄 알았는데 상대가 라인전이 좀 세서 게임 안에 들어가서 좀 당황했어요.
I thought their landing phase was going to be hard, but it was not as I expected. It was easier than I thought. Cool. And can I ask you, do you feel confident for the rest of the tournament now after that victory?
저는 개인적으로는 항상 여기 와서 정글 싸움에서는 자신이 있었고 제 그 무기로 팀적으로 더 잘 굴리면 좀 더 좋은 결과 볼 수 있을 것 같아요.
Since I first arrived, I have been confident. And this only helps me to keep my confidence. Well, thank you so much for your time today. And it's back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you once again, Hingers. Great stuff all day long. Been doing a good job getting those interviews down there, relaying them back to us. And that smack talk coming out, he thought it was easier than it should have been.
I mean, he said it, and it just is a point for the rest of the day, right? Was just confidence. Confidence, confidence, confidence. If you have the confidence in your abilities and in your team, you can just win out in the game. So that just really comes down to the fact that if you come in with sweaty palms, you know, if you come in a little bit nervous, that you can't get picked apart by these teams that are players who can just take it through.
Well, that's the thing, right? Rampage, they're a bit of a dark horse coming into this competition. I don't know if a lot of people expected this much out of them, but do you think potentially revealing your hand early, showing that you have this amazing Lee Sin in your repertoire might be a little bit of a mistake in day one?
I don't think so. Like, they'll just look back at his pool. I mean, they must have done at least a lot of research on in who this guy is.
Sure.
His pool. He has a lot of champions that he can do just as well in, right? So as you said, this is something this team, this region, generally gets overlooked. And so now that we're seeing, I mean, we saw Detonation Focus Me really draw glares. They've had a lot of great showing themselves. But now, perhaps Rampage is a team that you have to, a force to be reckoned with, man.
That's exactly right. And I'm sure everyone watching that game in the teams and the audience at home really going to have a little bit of a higher expectation coming into the next Rampage game. But of course, we are going to have a look at the day one results today. A lot of epic games we saw early on in the morning. It was INTZ taking out Chaos Latin Gamers, and Albus Nox Luna unfortunately decimating the home crowd's favorite cheese. And then, of course, Dark Passage really taking it to Chaos Latin Gamers. Unfortunately, they're going down 0-2 already in the start of it. But then Lion Gaming with not an upset, but a very good showing coming in here against INTZ. And that game we just watched, Rampage, going on an absolute rampage and taking on the Saigon Jokers.
I would say it's an upset for Lion Gaming.
Sure.
Lion Gaming, especially for Latin North America, every time they come into the wildcard tournament, they're a team that, or at least, yeah, well, I guess it's just them as a team. They've had a lot to prove, that they've come in, they only really can scrape one win. Meanwhile, INTZ come in as the favorites or really getting talked up, and they get through group stages and they fall out, sure. But one team is generally seen as not the best. I mean, is one of the best, while the other team is just kind of like looking to scrape one win. And they've shown and you see in their interviews as well, they come in with a different state of mind, and that's really showing in.
We got to keep in mind this Lions gaming squad in their own scene went completely undefeated, so really showing up. But we're going to have a look at the ladder and see kind of the positional where everyone is. INTZ at that number 1. They got 1 victory, 1 defeat. ANX 1 victory. Down to DP, Lion, and Rampage also sitting on 1 victory apiece. KMV on that 0-2 at the moment. And Saigon Jokers and our Chiefs rounding it out on 1 loss apiece.
Yeah, looking at the standings after 1 day doesn't really show much.
No.
We'll start to see it turn into something much more in this once we get into day 2, day 3.
Yeah.
Then we're going to have to really start to pay attention to those standings because top 4 does mean a lot.
Well, look, that's exactly right. And we've seen a myriad of different strategies coming out from all these teams. So as the tournament progresses, we're just going to see so much more and see if they can develop, niche strategies for one another, maybe.
Oh, well, I mean, INTZ, even though they went 1-1, right? They even said in their interview as well as that they didn't even show much. They had 1 month of boot camping. A lot of the teams had a bit of a boot camp as well. And so if they're not showing much, definitely much later on in the groups, especially the playoffs, they got to have something up their sleeves.
Look, and I'm sure a lot of teams have something up their sleeve, and maybe we'll see some of them tomorrow because we got tomorrow's games, the schedule coming up here. Straight off the bat, the team you just watched, Rampage, versing Albus Nox Luna. Basically, both teams on 1 win apiece, both looking very, very strong. Then the second game will be Chiefs taking on Chaos Latin Gamers. Dark Passage versing Lion Gaming here. Both of those teams also on a win apiece. Then INTZ takes on Rampage as the 5th game. Then to round out the day, it will be Saigon Jokers and the Chiefs.
Yeah, so day 1 showed a lot in terms of the team's current strengths. A lot of, honestly, styles and differences that we see from either their region and now compared to how they're playing now, what their boot camp is really showing. So now day 2, we get to see, like, we already know what they can play towards.
Yeah.
Can they make those improvements? Where are they going to go from there?
Well, that's the thing, right? It's a whole new bot lane meta that a lot of the teams are experiencing now, so it will be who can adapt to those strong AD carry support duos and really make them shine.
Yeah, that's actually a really great point because we saw Alistair coming in and they knew they were having a bad matchup. Meanwhile, we saw a Brand. They were like, you know what? We have a great matchup. Let's win through this matchup.
Look, that's exactly right, but that wraps it up from an excellent day. Thanks to everyone watching. We'll see you guys same time tomorrow.